Welcome, Notre Dame fans, to another One Question, Two Analysts, 3 Minutes. I'm Tom Loy alongside Kevin Sinclair of IrishIllustrated.com. Kevin, let's dive into some Fighting Irish recruiting. Who are two targets that would have head coach Brian Kelly the most fired up if they were to pick Notre Dame?
I think the first one, super obvious, would be Will Shipley, a five-star running back. And, obviously they got a five-star-ish running back last class, but Will Shipley, really a, every down, true 200-pound running back that you can really feature in any situation. Would also be a marquee win over Clemson, which is the kind of wins Notre Dame needs. And, on the defensive side of the ball, I think Ryan Barnes for maybe three reasons. He's a cornerback. He could also play the safety position. I really like how he would potentially be a free safety fit next to a strong safety type guy in Justin Walters. And he's also just a great fit for Notre Dame, a program that really needs quality defensive backs. So I think offense, defense, those are two guys that Brian Kelly would certainly be raved about getting. And how about you?
Yeah, I got two that come to mind that I'm sure Brian Kelly would probably go pretty nuts over. Clarkston, Michigan high school four-star offensive guard Rocco Spindler. I love the fact that he could really play all three positions. I mean, the guy could play center, guard, or tackle. Top 100 kid, and rightfully so. Under Armour All-American. Notre Dame, Michigan, Ohio State, Oklahoma, LSU, Alabama, all in play. Look for him to narrow down his top to a top five here pretty soon, especially with everything going on in the world right now. He's kind of getting closer to wanting to make a decision. Notre Dame will 100% be in that top group. They will get a return visit whenever he decides to take those official visits. Offensive line coach Jeff Quinn has done a phenomenal job here. Tommy Rees is really pitching in and showing his recruiting chops, battling some of the other heavy hitters that I mentioned. Blake Fisher is doing a good job as a Notre Dame commit of trying to develop that bond, that friendship. And as the story we had at Irish Illustrated was his conversation with Quentin Nelson, that played a big factor, no question, in his interest. The other I would mention, Lidditz, Pennsylvania, Warwick, five-star offensive tackle, Nolan Rucci. Notre Dame claims to be O-line U, and if they could get Spindler and Rucci, that would go a long way to continuing that trend moving forward. Notre Dame, Clemson, Penn State, Wisconsin. That's probably the four heavy hitters in this recruitment. I know he just narrowed down his recruitment to a top 9, but I really like that 4 that I mentioned. I think Notre Dame's trailing. They've only had him on campus once, and they need to really build on that and get him in town for an official visit. I do believe they're probably 4th in that race, so one more visit would go a long way. And then landing a guy like you mentioned, Will Shipley, to go along with potentially Rocco Spindler, that kind of stuff plays a big factor when guys are trying to look for winning championships and developing that friendship. So I know Shipley and Rucci have had a little bit of dialogue. They're both considering Clemson and Notre Dame, so we'll see what happens. But that would be a couple of big-time gets for this class. So for Kevin Sinclair, I'm Tom Loy. As always, stay locked to IrishIllustrated.com for all your Notre Dame recruiting news.